Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into one of the most powerful, but maybe one of the most misunderstood blood tests out there. This isn't just a test that captures a single moment. No, this one tells a whole story about your health over the last 3 months. Let's get right into it. So just imagine for a second, what if a single blood test could work like a time machine for your health? One that could look back over the last few months and give you the real big picture story. Well, that's pretty much exactly what the HbA1c test does. All right, so how on earth does this health time machine actually work? Let's break down what makes this test a full-blown 3-month health story. Now, you've probably seen or used a finger prick glucose test, right? That's just a snapshot. It tells you your blood sugar level at that very second. But the HbA1c test, that's more like the highlight reel. It shows you the average trend of what's been going on for the last few months. The official sciencey name is the HbA1c test, which stands for glycated hemoglobin. Yeah, it sounds super complicated, I know. But the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple. It's all about measuring your average blood sugar over the last 2 to 3 months. No need for daily logs, no guesswork. You just get one number that tells a much, much bigger story. Probably the best way to think about it is like a report card for your blood sugar. It doesn't get hung up on one good day or one bad day. Instead, it gives you the overall grade for the entire term, smoothing out all those daily ups and downs. Okay, but how? How can one single test capture all that information? Well, it all comes down to the clever way that sugar literally leaves a mark on your blood cells. Think about this for a second. When you pour syrup over a biscuit, it sticks, right? It just clings on there. Well, in a very similar way, the glucose in your bloodstream sticks to your red blood cells. And the more sugar you have floating around, the more of it coats these cells. So here's the play-by-play. Step 1. When you eat, sugar enters your blood. Simple enough. Step 2. Some of that sugar naturally latches on to hemoglobin, which is the protein inside your red blood cells. And finally, step 3. The HbA1c test measures the percentage of your red blood cells that have become sugar-coated. And here is the secret sauce. The reason it works over a 3-month window is because that's the average lifespan of a red blood cell. And since that sugar stays stuck to them for their entire life, measuring those sugar-coated cells gives us a perfect average of your blood sugar over that whole period. It's actually pretty genius. Okay, so you've gotten your report card back, you've got your number. Now what? Let's decode these results so you know exactly what they're telling you. First up, if your result comes in below 5.7%, congratulations. That's considered the normal range. It's a fantastic sign that your body is managing blood sugar really effectively. Now, a result between 5.7 and 6.4%, that puts you in the pre-diabetes range. This isn't a diagnosis, but think of it as a critical warning sign. It means your blood sugar is consistently higher than it should be, and honestly, it's the perfect time to start making some positive lifestyle changes. And if that number is 6.5% or higher, that's when it typically indicates diabetes. A result up in this range means it's definitely time to work closely with your doctor on a management plan. So let's just recap those numbers real quick. Below 5.7% is great. From 5.7 to 6.4%, that's your signal to take action. And 6.5% or above means it's time for medical attention. It's a really clear, simple guide to understanding your long-term health. So, what's the big deal? Why is this one number so incredibly important? Let's talk about why this test is such a game changer for your health. At the end of the day, it matters because it gives you that all-important bigger picture. Instead of getting lost in the day-to-day, it reveals your long-term health trends. It can show you if the lifestyle changes you're making are actually working. And it helps doctors spot potential issues early on, when they're much easier to manage. Really, it all boils down to this. The HbA1c test helps answer 2 of the most critical questions you can ask about your metabolic health. First, am I at risk? And second, if you're already managing a condition, is my treatment plan working? It just provides so much clarity for both you and your doctor. Whew, we've covered a lot of ground. So let's lock in everything we've learned with a super quick 3-point recap. Here it is, boiled right down. Number 1, sugar sticks to your red blood cells just like that syrup on a biscuit. Number 2, the HbA1c test just measures how much of that sugar has stuck around. And number 3, because red blood cells live for about 3 months, the test gives you that vital long-term average. See? It's as simple as that.
And that's the HbA1c test totally demystified. It's not just some random number, it's a story. And now that you know how to read that story, you're empowered to have smarter, more informed conversations about your own health. So the only question left is, what's the first thing you'll ask your doctor? Thanks for tuning in.